Hey, welcome back to Ray's Toys and Collectibles. Today we're going to take a look at the Hammond Collection Atrociraptor Ghost from Jurassic World Dominion by Mattel. Ever since I was a kid I was fascinated by dinosaurs. So when the first Jurassic Park hit theaters in 1993, I went to see the movie. I got all the figures, all the dinosaurs, vehicles, you name it. And was really getting into collecting for the first time. That absolutely grew exponentially when the later films hit, also in 1995 when the Power Force 2 series came out for Star Wars. But we're going to talk about Jurassic Park, Jurassic World in this video. So this figure is part of the Hammond Collection line from Mattel, and when they announced this I was very excited. Not only would we get more detailed figures and dinosaurs from the movies, they'd also be more detailed, have better paint apps and be better articulated. So for pictures, videos, these are really good. The only downside is that at some point they decided to go with the glass eyes for all of the figures, which I think was a bad decision. In most cases they look nice, but on the smaller figures, on some of them, yeah, there's just not enough eye to actually capture the light and they look a little dead. Fortunately for this figure it looks pretty good. Taking a look at the packaging, it's primarily black. It's supposed to look a little premium, but yeah, I don't know, it's a little bland in my opinion. I would have preferred if there was a red on it. Maybe a little like the packaging on the 1993 series, where you had the red and the yellow and maybe even a tree line there. I think that would have, yeah, it would definitely stand out a bit. On the front you see a picture of the figure. It would have been really nice if that was a picture of the animal from the movie, but oh well. Name tag on the side, also a nice picture of the animal, and you can see here the logo for the movie. That's a way to tell which movie it's from. And on this side it just has the Hammond Collection logo with John Hammond in amber. And on the back it shows the figure with some details, and yeah, it looks pretty nice. It really depends on where you get this figure, if it's interesting the back side, because in some countries this just has this blah blah text on the back, and I think primarily the US packaging will have a bio or write-up of the character or the dinosaur. But to be honest, in my case I don't really care about it, because yeah, open it anyway. So, and these boxes I'll probably not keep. Taking the figure out of the packaging, all you really have to do is insert the tail, which is really easy. Taking a close look at the figure, you can see it's very nicely detailed. The head looks great. I do not know if you can see the eye here, but it captures the light very nicely. And also the mouth looks really great. You can see here very nicely sculpted teeth. On the mainline figures they often look like bananas, so they did a really good job here. The mouth closes, of course. Very nice. Going over the articulation, the mouth can open and close. You can turn the head around. It has a little bit of movement, not a lot. Then the neck can also rotate, and it can also move up and down a bit. It does have a lot of range, unfortunately, but you can still use it to pose. The arms can go forward and back, they can go out. You also have a hinge and swivel at the elbow, so if you do not want to have the standard pose in Jurassic Park, you can turn it around. You get a more scientifically accurate pose there. Then the legs go back and forth, and they have a stopping point where they click in, just to make sure the figures hold their position and don't fall over. They also go out at the hip. Then there's a knee bend and also swivel, and there is also a ball joint here, so you can swivel it around, and you also have this ankle tilt, which is really nice. And then the tail, which plugs in, can rotate, can go up, down, side to side, and it also has a bendy wire, which is really nice for posing. Comparing the Hammond Collection version to the normal Jurassic World Dominion version for Atrociraptor Ghost, you can see it's a vast improvement. The tail is longer, which is really nice. Pretty much all the Hammond Collection figures, the tails are longer than their standard counterparts, which is really nice. It not only offers more balance for the figure, it just looks a lot better and more accurate. You can see here the paint apps are also superior, the sculpt is better, and yeah, like I mentioned, the articulation is a lot better, because the standard figure doesn't have a lot of articulation. So yeah, it's a big improvement. Here is the Atrociraptor Ghost next to the Hammond Collection blue, and unfortunately, yeah, this is a real shame. The blue figure is really great, but yeah, unfortunately, due to the glass eye being so dark, it doesn't really catch the light. So about 90% of the time this figure looks dead in the face, which is a real shame. Compared to a human figure, Atrociraptor Ghost is pretty much standard Velociraptor size. Of course, in a real life, Velociraptors were a lot smaller than you see them in Jurassic Park in the movies after that. Using all the articulation points, you can get this figure to very nice poses. If you were to use a stand, I'm sure you can make him leap and such. I really like this figure. I think Mattel did a really great job. Everything looks good. I wish the neck had a little bit more up and down movement, but yeah, I think it's just enough to get it posed into some very dynamic poses. The only really big drawback are the feet. They're a little rubbery, so sometimes you are struggling to keep it standing up, but as you can see, it's standing right now, so you just have to find a little bit of balance. And that's the thing that the first Velociraptor figures did have slightly bigger feet, and they're also harder plastic, which didn't bother me that much. I prefer to keep my figure standing, so if that means slightly bigger feet, I'm okay with that. Anyway, I think this figure is 9.5 out of 10. I really like it. I definitely recommend it if you're gonna go into the Hammond Collection and want a really good action figure. I hope you enjoyed this review. Please stay tuned for more. You can expect Jurassic Park, Jurassic World, Marvel Legends, Star Wars, Transformers, much more on this channel. So feel free to leave a comment, give me a thumbs up please, and feel free to subscribe. See you around.